Okay, so I was explaining the whole cake thing, and my phone can only take video for so long, which is kind of sucky, but whatever. Okay, so if you eat your cake, right? This is what you chose to do. You have your cake, right? And there's your ingredients. You eat your piece of cake. That's what you chose to do. So that's the decision you made. Well, that directly affects this in a positive way, because now that you've eaten, you filled a void. You're no longer hungry anymore. That's hunger. So that's no longer there. But you created a void afterwards. Right? You created, because if that is now positive, then this has to be negative. Always. Whenever this is positive, this has to be negative. And whenever this is negative, this has to be positive. That's the only way this works. So, and that's the only way we create balance. But this is life right here. Okay? So you ate your piece of cake. Now you don't feel hungry anymore. But now you don't have any more cake. See how that works? It works in different ways. It all depends on how you start. It really does. It depends on how you start everything. So if you start everything from a good place, then more than likely you're going to end up in a good place. But if you start it from a negative place, you might get somewhere good to start, but you're going to end up in a bad place. You're going to end up with a void somewhere. So it would be like creating something. So let's just say that we'll bring back our flower of life. Okay. So after we bring back our flower of life here, we've created something. Right? But so since we created something, we had to take ingredients from somewhere. We had to have gotten ingredients from somewhere to make this. Okay? So I used the ink from my pen to create that. See how that works? I created my flower of life on this piece of paper, but I had to use the ingredients from the pen to do so. So I created a void within the pen to create the flower of life. The pen already had all the ink, so that's a positive. It already had all the ink I needed to create that. So I simply just used that. So when you use something, you create a void, or you subtract. You subtract. Subtract. Okay? You're creating a void to create something positive, which will eventually create another void, which will eventually create another void, which will create something positive, which will create another void, which will create something positive, which will create another void. Okay? So that's the next part that I'm going to get into. But here's the first part for right now. And I really sincerely hope that this ends up changing a few people's perception of how things are done, and I really hope that this ends up changing a few people's lives completely. It's really, really simple to understand. This isn't hard, okay? We've known this since we were little kids, and I'm just putting it on paper and making it true. All I'm doing is I'm just writing out everything I've ever learned as a little boy. So, I'm a firm believer that if I can get it, you can get it. So, just, there you go, man. There you go, people. Do with it what you will. It's just, I hope you guys make good decisions with this. Namaste.